Appreciate that.
No, it's all good. All right, so I think we're live. What a great way to start the show.
Hey, it's the first one, right?
That's right. Let me just make sure that people are on, or I can see it, and then we'll go from there. It'll begin in a few minutes.
Cool. Okay.
All right, let's see.
If you can, when you get a chance, send that link, the live link through the email, not the email, the Twitter messages, so I could post it.
You mean the one that people can see, right? Not to get on the yeah. Hold on. Let me see, how do I do this? Oh, okay. All right, I think we're on. All right, so let me. I just put it in the. I just put it in the Twitter message.
Okay.
And then I guess I could do a tweet.
There we go.
All right. I just put a tweet saying we were running late. We're live now. All right. So I think we're live. We're on like a little bit of a delay. I think that's normal. So
that's fine.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah, we good.
All right. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the show. First show we're doing. We have Gedden on the line here, and Gideon Prime, aka Apex, is free. The godfather of all this stuff. He's the one that started it all. I think, right?
That's how I feel about it.
That's how I feel, right? So yeah, so we had a little bit of technical difficulty, guys. I don't know who's watching, but we're going to record this anyways. This is our first show. And what we're going to talk about tonight is a little bit of background on what the show is going to be about, what type of topics we're going to be discussing, and the future plans for the show and what we're really trying to accomplish. We're also going to get into a little bit of, since we have Apex on, he's a featured guest tonight. Hopefully he becomes a regular on the show. We'll see. But we're going to have him on here to share some thoughts he has about the sim community and just, overall sim sports in general, and get his feedback and just touch base with him, see where he's been and where he's going. And, so without further ado, we'll get started. The show should be about an hour or so. We're running behind, as I mentioned, but I think we're live now. We can see you guys on chat. If you guys want to chat, feel free to jump into the chat, and then we'll talk to you guys that way as well. But I'll go ahead and kick it off. So, King Javo, for those of you guys who may not know me, watching the Celtics game here. This guy got hurt bad. Gideon and I were talking about it before the broadcast. Man, this guy broke his leg bad.
Broke his leg?
Yeah, he broke his leg.
Gordon Hayward, B. I don't even know where it got broke at. That's how bad it is, B.
Wow.
I think his whole leg was like, when he fell down on his back, it looked like his leg was just caught up behind him,
You said that was Hayward?
Gordon Hayward, man.
Oh,
he's
my
done.
God.
Most likely,
wow.
He's done for the year, man. Even the playoff show.
Yeah, damn. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's insane. I'm kind of speechless about that one.
Yeah, that's nuts. So anyway, so whatever. So hopefully
pray for that guy.
Yeah, pray for that.
Yeah. There's praying. That's all you got. At the end of the day, that's all you got, man.
You're right.
Yep. All right. Well, like I said, I'm on the show. We're starting the show because we want to be able to share another voice in the community. We feel like there's been I feel like there hasn't been enough progress with some of these games, and we don't want to just be stuck with EA's Madden or any one particular game. We want to be able to have options. I think a lot of us feel this way. So this show is about the community, is about bringing people on. If developers want to come on and they want to talk to us, we welcome them. We're not going to have any hidden agendas. We're not looking to become partners with anybody. At least, you know, we want to keep it real. We want to keep it as unbiased as possible and share with you guys the real feelings of from the community members, you know, and people that started this show, you know,
and honest, man.
Honest, you know, 100% honesty. If you think it looks good, whether it be 2K or, you know, San Diego Studios or EA, we're going to keep it 100% honest. And if you really think something looks good and you like it, then fine. But we don't want to hear you say it looks good today and then tomorrow it doesn't, unless you're taking some medication and you got problems. But I mean, you know, you need to be 100 and keep it real. So anyway, that's my background. I'll pass it over to Gedden. I'll let him introduce, you know, what his agenda is for this, and then we'll go from there.
YouTube, what it is. Haven't heard that in a while. I'm kind of baby stepping back into YouTube and creating videos and content and whatnot. But yeah, as Javo said, you know, I just want to reiterate, yeah, we want to be honest. We want to be open. We want to be transparent. We want to make sure that we give a voice to anyone out there that has any issues with any of the games. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Madden. Yeah, we're going to focus on Madden. We're going to focus on 2K. But, you know, I agree with everything Javo was saying. We're going to have featured guests. We also want to talk a little bit about sports, gaming in general, consumer products in terms of gaming, not just gaming news and stuff. But I think, as Jaros pointed out, I think it's a great subject to expound upon and talk about is gaming consumerism. What's going on in the gaming world in terms of if you're being treated fairly, if we are, or we're not. My opinion, we're not exactly being treated fair. So we want to wrap all those elements together and give you guys an entertaining show. You know, I have to apologize. You know, the show started off late because of me. But future shows are going to be much better. This is basically a pre-alpha of the show. We're trying to give you guys content every Tuesday night, live content, and then we'll have a rebroadcast of that show either the day after or 2 days after, maybe on the weekend, the very latest. But I would like to be very consistent. And, you know, we want to grow this show. It's going to take a good long time, but we really want to grow the show. We're in this for the long haul. You know, I've been, you know, making YouTube videos forever. And even though I'm not making YouTube videos, I'm still watching YouTube videos and leaving comments here and there if you guys have seen me or not. But yeah, that's basically my agenda. You know, I want to hopefully give a voice to the consumer, give the power back to the consumer instead of being a shill, if you will.
Yeah, perfect word.
That's right. That's right. What very well said. I mean, like Gedden said, we're trying to do this every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. If we can get our technical difficulties out of the way.
I think we're good now. I think we're money now.
I think we're good. We're good. But yeah, every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. and we're gonna keep it consistent, and hopefully we can get some featured guests on here. So speaking of featured guests, we got the Godfather. The Godfather, Apex is
the inspiration.
The inspiration, the guy that got us going down this crazy road. Gideon Prime, what's up, man?
Truth Yo, what's going on, people? Yeah. What's going on, everybody, man? You know, I appreciate the love and everything. Yo, I want to come at the sim community because right now, like, I'm pissed off with the whole sim community, man. All of it, not one faction here, one faction there. I'm not trying to bump any one particular thing. This is a whole thing I'm coming at right now, man. These people, like, we're getting outran, outnumbered. They got the platform. These cheese advocates, man. They go to these devs, man, and they advocate for cheese type of stuff. And the other people don't even know that if they get what they want, it's cheese fest. Like dude just going for, again, I'm a 2K guy. Dudes is going for, like, they want to shoot up. They want to get the shooting percentage higher. Like, they don't care about ball tangibility, which is my #1 pet peeve of all time. Ball tangibility, man. If you don't have ball tangibility, every single offensive maneuver means absolutely nothing. What are you doing a crossover for? Why are you doing a spin move for? Why are you doing anything for? The John Wall stutter step or the UTEP 2-step. It sounds great, but for nothing, because the ball is intangible. So why don't you just run up to the guy and just go right past him, rub off him like butter? Like, this is where the witchcraft of the 2K marketers and the people that's behind, you know, the ideas, not the devs, because the devs just have to follow their lead and their direction. But the community is supposed to know better, because we've been seeing this year after year after year. Why is there only a few people that sound like what I'm saying and sound like what you guys are saying? Why is that? Because these people are not sim people. There needs to be a separation. These people that say they're sim, they are not sim. I watch YouTube tutorials after tutorials, and they're talking about pick and rolls and this and that. And while they're demonstrating it, the ball is just being dangling all over the place. Nobody's saying anything, and they act as if this is some type of big brainstorm. Oh, you got to run a pick and roll. You're an idiot if you don't take it off auto. You're an idiot. And while they're playing, and these guys are supposed to be so good, the ball is just they don't even care about protecting the ball. They don't care because they don't have to care. And
exactly.
if 2K was to lose their mind and actually make the ball tangible, at least for 2-player, because AI, I understand, they don't have the programming protocols and everything. It's hard to get in that code and try to program the AI to really keep the ball away from the user. So they can't do that. Fine. But when it comes to 2 players online, they can do that. Instead of letting the AI arbitrarily choose when the ball's going to be tangible, which is the most unfair. If you want to drive yourself crazy, go online. You're going to see a center. You're going to see a center that can't even dribble, that has no dribble rating, go coast to coast on you. When meanwhile, the whole team done hit the ball, high five the ball like twice. And then at the same time, he'll go and bang it on you. And then you'll have 99 handle and get stripped by the first person that touches the ball. I'm like, okay, I might as well just turn this off right now, because things mean something to me. Like, I see something and it's like, wait a minute, this is not logical right now. I am exercising some type of insanity by playing this game right now.
Continuously.
Continuously. I'm driving myself crazy. And
yes,
so now I'm trying to win outside the means of basketball. Totally. So it's about wins now.
Right.
I get some type of, I go Super Saiyan and trying to win. Like I'm going crazy. Like, oh my God, I gotta win. I gotta win. I don't care.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Gideon Prime is cheesing? Are you cheesing on that game?
No. I mean, this is what it does to you. So I have to step back and be like, hold up. Like, I don't want to play this, because the type of dude I would become, I would have to go look up all these cheese tutorials and find out how to do this, or get my own version of a cheese and then go against their version of a cheese, and then act like we didn't cheese at all. Go online and say, oh, well, look at my stats. Look at how great I am. It's so sim. When you watch these guys play, they don't protect the ball from the defense whatsoever. They do it by accident. Most of the time, the ball's getting touched. They're not even trying to keep the ball away. So these guys really are not good. Nobody's really good in 2K.
Yeah, they took that skill gap out of the game. I mean, I don't know if it was ever in the game. At one point, I definitely think it was, especially on one-on-one head-to-head matchups. The mode that I majorly play is the My Player, and I play on the park whenever I can, whenever the servers are working. All these issues that we're talking about right now is the reason why we're making this show, by the way. But yeah, you'll have people and this is one-on-one, supposedly no computer assistance at all in the game, and you have crazy stuff happening there where your whole team can't even grab a rebound, yet their point guard is grabbing a rebound out of nowhere, or I have a center that I created. He's a driver, rebounder, hit a three. I should never be able to hit a three. My rating for that is like 30 something at this point. I should never be able to hit a three, wide open or not. I should shoot up an air ball if my rating is so low. But yeah, you bring up a lot of valid points with the community as a whole. Another guy, hopefully we could get on, is the Lob Mob. Shout out to Lob Mob. He brings up a lot of the same points through Twitter, or he did. He kind of gave up on NBA 2K as he brought up a whole lot of good points, the same points that you brought up, Apex, about how the community as a whole for NBA 2K or even online gaming as a whole is not sim. It's a lot of casuals, like you say. It's a lot of cheesers out there, and the cheesers are the ones that they listen to, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know when I played NBA 2K18, I probably played maybe 5 hours of it. And I can tell you that from my experience. That's why I asked you, Gideon, that one night, what setting you're playing on, what difficulty, because I was playing on All-Star, which I've always played on, and the computer wasn't letting me do anything. Now, let me preface that by telling you that I was the Orlando Magic, and they're trash, absolute trash in this, in the NBA. But I couldn't do anything. I couldn't score. It was like 20-2. And I mean, that's not the kind of player I am, but I'm finding that game. The problem I have with NBA 2K from the old NBA 2Ks is that the player control is not as it's not where it used to be, right? You used to be able to control the players, move them around. They didn't always look realistic, which is what I think NBA Live kind of does. And you have more player control from what I'm hearing. I haven't played the game. But I mean, with NBA 2K, it looks fluid. If anybody comes in the room, they're like, "Oh, what game is that? Who's playing?" And it's like, "No, I'm playing NBA 2K." And they're like, "Wow," because the animations are so smooth. But the problem is that everything that you do, you push a button and you get suctioned into an animation. And you have ways to get out when you do certain layups or whatever. You can do different counter moves, but there's a ton of moves to learn. If you guys have looked at the manual or done the training, which I did a lot of tutorials, they give you like over 100 different moves you can learn. And I don't know how much those moves really control this suction thing I'm talking about. But that's the one issue I have with the game. It looks beautiful. The player likeness is on point. The game runs and looks smooth, but when you're playing it, you lose a lot of the control we used to have back in the 2K8, 2K10, even 2K11, 2K12 type days, from my opinion. Now that we're talking about NBA.
And before let me just add on to that, ball tangibility and everything. Also, along with ball intangibility, is just being able to just body somebody that is bigger than you, stronger than you, and you could just move them out the way. Or something as simple as they talk about these defensive settings all day on 2K, and they're like, "Wow, you got to do this, you got to do that," or pick and rolls and this and that, hard hedge, soft hedge. And I'm watching real life, and it was a pick and roll situation. Kyrie Irving just approached it. They hard hedged him. He had to back up. You know why? Because he had to protect the ball. In 2K, hard hedge, double teams means absolutely nothing until the AI decides you're going to do it. It's going to mean the ball's going to be tangible. And it's not based off what the heck is happening on the screen. Hard hedge, user defense is over. And they talk as if it's not an issue. It's not a problem. They just want to go all offense. I'm looking at the game right now. The score is like what in real life? Cavaliers got like 29 points, something like that.
41 to 28.
41 to 28. It's the second quarter with 7 minutes left. If this would be 2K, it would be like almost 70 points right now. Or 60 points, 50 to 60 points. Yeah. They hate defense. People have to concentrate. They have to actually think when there's defense involved, when you have to worry about defense. All of their moves that actually mean something. I'm repeating myself. or everything would mean something if ball tangibility and size actually meant something. And it's just a shame. Like Madden, I gave up on Madden. I totally gave up on Madden. The direction that they ran in, I just put that down. I wasn't going crazy.
Oh, we gonna talk about Madden in a second.
Yeah, we don't. I was gonna say we don't talk about Madden here. Period.
I mean, no, we
gotta talk about all the games though.
Yeah, I know.
We need to talk about it because it needs to be talked about, and it needs to be talked about honestly. And this is what shows like this, I would love to see happen.
Right.
Where it can be spoken about and they get big enough to where people have to, they won't be able to ignore it any longer. And these people, they go online, they go on Twitter, and they talk about some offensive move that they done, and then they act like what I'm just talking about is like gone. Let's just act like it's not there, or you idiot, why didn't you put these sliders in? I don't have that problem. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
that is why the community is that's why the community is so weak. And not to mention these influences, man. These influences, and I know a lot of them. I mean, they cool, good people. Of course they make their money. They have to feed their families, man. But what EA did, that was the new model that all of these companies are doing right now. EA was the first to actually reach out and go to the group of people, which I was a part of, and they totally corrupted it. 1 minute they was this way, and then EA reached out to them, touched them up, and now they was another way. And I'm cool with these guys right now. I have no problem with none of them. You know what I'm saying? Dudes are gonna feed their families. Dudes are gonna have their fun. There's no problem with that. But it happened. I'm just speaking honestly. I'm not trying to down anybody. But that's the model that has destroyed the sim community. It totally annihilated the sim community. Sim community would have been something if the original sim standard would have took a stand way back when. But because we didn't, the whole internet just followed suit. And this is what we have right now, man.
Well, let me say this real quick. So one of the things that I've heard from the community is that once they've gotten behind the ropes and they've understood what it takes to make a game, then they start to become more patient and give more leeway to the developers, right? So I was like, oh yeah, you guys have no clue what it takes. And, Rex, I talk to him on a daily basis and he tells me A, B, C, D, E, 6 years later, where are we at? The bottom line though is, listen, I'm a developer. I do it for a living, and I totally understand from a programming standpoint what it takes. And I'm not saying it like I'm Mr. Big Shot. The point is that it is very difficult, and there are a ton of challenges that come with making a game, and especially a AAA title. It is monumental, and I've said this in my videos before, and I cannot say it enough that it is crazy. I'm making a 2D game, if you guys follow me at all, and even that game, I have a developer working on it with me, and if you could just see and you could just imagine what it takes to build that little game, let alone a AAA game, right? So, but the point is that if you were to send me as a game changer or even to work as an employee at EA, I wouldn't have the patience for this because they have millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, and I know that they can start over, whether they have a parallel dev cycle or not. They can start over, and they can have one putting out to the masses every year, your yearly cycle, and they can have another one on the backup if they want to. Instead of focusing on MUT and the bells and whistles that make it look like it's improving, focus on the on-field gameplay, focus on the animations, focus on the running, focus on the X's and O's, and give us a better product over time. But this excuse that, it just takes too long. I know it takes a long time, but I'm also a one-person show. You have AAA resources over here. These guys have reach. They have power. They can do so much. And there goes my kid on the floor over here. But the bottom line is that on one side, I'm saying I understand what it takes, but on the other side, I'm not giving them a pass for them choosing to go down the road of let's just cover up. Let's cover up the base issues, the core issues that we have, because it's too hard for us to work on. It's too much money for us to allow to be funded. Let's focus on the masses and give them the bells and whistles and shut everybody up because, hey, you know what? There's no competition. So when we think about it like that, yeah, they're playing their game. But when you talk to us, people that have been affected by this, the three of you guys, three of us on here and many more, we're not going to sit here and give them a pass. I'm not going to give them a pass for this. This is inexcusable for me. You know, and we could sit here and complain. I'll stop right here. We could sit here and complain until the cows come home, and maybe we never get a new game. I understand that maybe we're beating a dead horse, but I'll go out dying, you know, going down like a man and saying the truth and saying how I feel than buying into this monopoly. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm done on my rant. Sorry. I'm already ranting. First show, man. I'm already ranting.
I think we're all doing that. I think that's the purpose of the show. Matter of fact, when Apex, when he was introduced and had to speak his mind, I think that his frustration is the reason why we have this show, why we should make this platform, why we should have multiple featured guests to explain why they're so frustrated. But I want to make a rather profound point about all of these YouTube influencers, game changers, or whatever you want to call them. To be a developer, you need a certain talent. To be a developer of a certain genre, you get interviewed, I assume. You have your background check. What I'm saying is this, right? You have to have a certain level of expertise in that genre. Let's just talk about football, because we know one company makes the football game, the NFL game. You're a huge company. Why are you getting developers that need help with making their game? That's how I know the Game Changers program, to be honest, is just a marketing scheme. It's a scam in a way. It's
100%.
It's made, same thing with 2K and their influencers. Don't get it twisted. But it's made to sell the game or to give you a false hope as if they are going to make something better the next year, right? That's why they always say, oh, it'll get better next year, or the developers know all these things already. They just got to do this coding, and you know it'll get worked on. Trust me, it's on the table. It's a list of the long list of many things that need to get fixed in whatever game, football, basketball, baseball, whatever the case is. They're using YouTube as a vehicle to sell their product. Some companies it works, some companies it doesn't. I think for NBA 2K, I think it works masterfully. For Madden, I'm not too sure how their sales are, but they make all their money on MUT, so I don't think they really give a damn about their sales. So really, these programs, the influencers and game changers, really just damage control at this point. I haven't seen or heard of one game changer influencer go down there and say, we have X, Y, and Z that I thought of or people told me about. We're going to fix it right now when the game is out. And then they go back and actually change and fix that issue. There's so many issues in Madden that has either been added on or issues that everyone complains about, yet it never gets fixed. And same thing with NBA 2K. There's a lot of issues there. Even though I think, NBA 2K is a phenomenal game, has many, many issues. And right now we're just talking about mostly gameplay. We didn't touch on the servers yet. We didn't touch on the VC scamming or capitalism, whatever you want to call it. It's a lot of issues with NBA 2K as well. But yeah, it's a lot we can talk about.
Personally, I don't care about that stuff, man. I don't care about like the VC scamming. Oh, people gotta exercise. It is wrong. I'm not saying it's right, but give me basketball, and if you can market my pants off while you give me basketball, that's up to me. You know what I'm trying to say? But it is wrong because right now, you back people in a corner because you made them desire something, and you sharpen people's desire so sharp that you can literally control them while you're not giving them no basketball. They talk about basketball, there's basketball that, and without defense, there's no basketball. Without defense, you're playing horse. This is what it is. It's horse with numbers. All it is.
It was funny how one of your last videos, Apex, you was talking about the best way you could play defense is a conservative defense instead of an aggressive defense. Yeah. My boy that I used to play with, he used to have a YouTube channel. Shout out to Big Papi Chulo. We used to play NBA 2K a lot, especially the My Park 3-on-3. Shout out to my boy Kush. He's our third X Factor, I call him. But anyway, so we used to play a lot, and he came from the old school, not even old school, but somewhat old school NBA 2K of 2007, 2008, where you can actually play aggressive defense. You could get into the passing lane and steal the ball. Because of that, because of gamers like him, actually having user control over his defense, they took all that out to make more money. They took out the element of either strategizing or even protecting the ball so that they can make more money, because casuals rather, jack up shots and pass the ball willy-nilly. And they get mad when they don't score or they get turnovers, and then they stop playing the game. That's how our society is, unfortunately. It's hard for somebody to pick up a game and learn it. They rather sit there and grind all day. If you look at all the games out there that are somewhat popular, it's a grind element to it instead of a skill gap element to it. A lot of the games that are skill gap based are the fighting games, and the fighting games don't sell that much unless it's Smash Brothers or something like that. But Street Fighter and Marvel, they don't sell too much because there's a real skill gap in those games.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's a great point right there. And I just feel because 2K has basketball that it's going to sell anyway.
Yeah.
Madden has football. It's going to sell anyway, but their bosses don't see that. They're too scared to be bold. They're too scared to actually be innovators. And like, they know what to do. Well, I don't know about Madden. Madden doesn't know what to do anymore, because if you're running animations get worse and worse over years, then you really don't know what to do, because
not just animations, but the mechanics are bad.
The running animation is basic as it is,
and they're trash.
You can't get that right. How you gonna get football right?
Yeah,
dudes look like they're like. I mean, come on, yo. They ran better in Madden 04 than they do now.
05, they ran great. That was the thing about the older Maddens that I actually like. Sorry?
They're going in the wrong direction. I mean, they can't run. Bump, blocking, catching. They can't run. They can't get step one. It's like a horse race. And they say, and they're off. The horses go out. All the horses leave the, what they call that? I don't know what they call that. I don't know, whatever they call that the starting gate. And EA's horse doesn't even leave. But yet they got the most media people taking the cameras, and they'll just say, well, the horse didn't leave the stall yet, but man, what a great horse. Look at his mane. It's like, yo, the horse didn't even leave the gate. What do you mean as far as they didn't leave the sim gate? It's gone. 2K, their horse is gone, but that's red tape. That's just politics. What took them out. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But that's why I go hard on 2K.
Well, no, I was going to say, listen. So here's the thing. So the thing about NBA 2K, how we were just saying a minute ago, how you were saying how people buy NBA 2K no matter what because they own basketball. But the way I feel about NBA 2K is they won the basketball race. Yeah, NBA Live got beaten out. They got beat out fair and square. There's no license locked up. There's no behind the scenes, shady deals, no politics going on. They got beat head to head, straight up, and the best man won. That's what you call, what do you call it? Competition, right? Economics, whatever you call it. So, there's a term for that. I can't remember the term, but I know you said competition, but there's an economical term for that. And the bottom line is that no monopoly creates the best product or service. And 2K won. When you talk about football, we know why Madden sells. One single reason, because of the NFL. You take the NFL out of Madden, who the hell's going to even touch that game? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's pure trash. But I mean, that's going back to that. I mean, even
let me say this. The worst part of the whole thing is that EA literally altered the perception of what people would. That's like, I'm cool with Smitty. I'm cool with all these guys. I have no problem with them. But they have a lot of great points. But there's a lot of other points that are they just don't see it. And they honestly
choose
don't
not
see
to.
it.
They choose not to. No. They choose not to. I've had conversations with those guys. We all agreed. And I'm talking about what, 2011, I think. 12, I forgot the exact year. But we all were agreeing real well. That's why, they invited me into the second or third form of the Sim Standard. That's why they invited me in, because we all agreed. We all had a common goal. But then things change real quick. Right. And then that's that, I'm not trying to be too negative on those guys, but to me, they choose not to see it and they just sweep it under the rug. Sorry to cut you off, Apex.
No, it's all good. I mean, it's all about being honest, and it's all about, like, or at least what everybody else, man, is like, I think they altered their perception with everybody else. I think that's fair to say. They altered their perception, man. And it's like, you see guys like Sam Pham. These guys are great guys, like he has a lot of pride in his settings and in his ways, and it's like, this guy, he sucks and he's this and that. And it's like elitism is like pride and having one, and like the basketball gets left in the dust, because if you don't have to, like, if you had to protect the ball, almost half of all the stuff that guys like him will be saying would not work at all. You can watch real basketball. You do a hard hedge, unless you got an incredible passer that can pass with all type of angles, you have to back up and reset.
Yeah,
that's what hard hedges do. Now you have to have centers that are quick on their feet to make a hard hedge work. That's a real life basketball dynamic. 2K, they have the ability to make that work, but they don't. Whereas Madden, they don't have a chance. That's why I go hard at 2K.
Yeah.
Like stuff like, and now you have other guys, they'll come on and say, "Oh, you don't know, you suck. You're supposed to do it like this and do it like that." And they'll talk about one aspect of strategy. But how do you even get to strategy if you can't run? It's like, I don't understand this, man. People talk about pick and roll. People talk about pick and roll in the basketball, but the ball's intangible, yo. Like, I don't understand how people don't see this. How they just totally just jumping over buildings to talk about the antenna on the roof? Like, the antenna on the roof is tall, but you jump the whole building.
I think the issue with the especially with the ball tangibility, I do believe they have the technology, and we get a crazy echo.
Let me see.
At least I'm hearing it.
Nah, but I don't hear it.
Okay, cool. I think we're good now. All right. So the thing about the ball tangibility, in my opinion, is just an opinion, is that they might believe if we make the ball 90% or 100% tangible, nobody's going to enjoy that game. But there's such thing as contextual animations throughout the game, and probably inverse schematics that they could add throughout the game to make everything look believable. If you're dribbling into traffic, either you're going to back up or you're just going to turn the ball over. They need it needs to be a mode or something effect to add to the gameplay for guys like Apex or me or whomever the case is that enjoy a true 100% sim. They need to add stuff like that. And we're just talking about ball tangibility, but what about stamina?
Yeah.
If you look at stamina's all messed up too. If you run a true sim, really, anytime when you're moving the left stick to move, you're going to lose a little bit of stamina, right?
Yeah.
Stamina shouldn't just be tied to the sprint button.
There you go.
Even if you're going for steals or blocks, stuff like that. We need to have a mode or something that's going to appease people for that, right? So you got to stop worrying about numbers so much and just make a core game.
Yeah, and that's if they care. Because the worst part about it, the part about it for me is that they'll go on Twitter and they'll talk about, oh my gosh. And even now, I'm pretty sure, like the Scotto guy, he might see something on about the game in real life, the NBA, and say, hey, look, we got this part, right? This is what they do. So they'll take one instance, isolate it, and then market it or put it in lights, and they say we do this too, and it's just so wrong, and the people fall for it so hard every year. Man, look, the game been out for like a month or some change. Like people are already man, look, man, they already got 4 patches, and they're listening to the wrong people, man. They're listening to the wrong people, man. I'm picking rolls. You don't have to protect the ball. Come on, man.
There's one thing that I can say about the ball tangibility. I mean, I think in football, I think football would be easier to do ball tangibility. Something like basketball, I totally agree, by the way, 100% with what you guys are saying about the ball needs to be its own physical entity. You know, it can't just be attached to your arm and you can slip right through people, or just, all of a sudden it just jumps out like in Madden. It'll just shoot out and you have no idea what happened. But in basketball, my only fear about it from a programming perspective is that if you make that ball its own physical object and you have a guy bouncing it up and down, well, you either better have really, really good control on the player and really solid AI so that you don't create chaos, because what you're going to get is chaos. If you got people out there, the masses, who want to just play NBA and make it look like the NBA, and they jump on, they start moving their sticks around, they want to just shoot left and right like Steph Curry, the ball's going to be kicked around the floor nonstop, because legs, knees going to hit the ball, they're going to collide, and the ball's going to shoot out, and you're going to have complete chaos. And I'm not saying until they
get better.
Yeah, until they get better. But I mean, what I'm saying is that kind of listen, I'm the first one in line that would want that. But be careful what you wish for, because I just don't know from a programming standpoint what that would look like on the floor if that's just going to be straight chaos. Because unless they have the controls right, where you can quickly do a crossover, or you can throw it behind your back, or you could do a nice spin move, and the good AI to be able to defend, put your legs down, not just hold down the trigger and just, hold on and suck into the guy and just autopilot. I'm talking about be able to have the right controls to swipe. And if you hit the guy, you foul him. If not, you might hit the ball. I'm down for all that, but they need to get their controls 100% tight before you even step into that dimension, because that's just going to be straight chaos. But I would shoot for it. I would shoot for it 100%.
What I would say to that, I'm sorry, but let me just make this one quick point. My bad, brother. What I would say to that is, you're right. They have to have their control, but a lot of the controls shouldn't be kind of left up to the user. It should be stat based, in my opinion. And of course, you need to have computer governing elements to help with that. Now I'm gonna bring up a point again. One developer was trying to make that a reality. That one developer was Natural Motion. Javo, you knew what I was gonna say, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Natural Motion was the company trying to add AI intelligent behavior within each player, so that they'll either protect the ball, they will put the I'm talking about football, but reach for the goal line. It's not anything you have to put on the user for those technical aspects. You really put that in a simulated form, which is on the actual AI control player that they're actually using. So I think that's
real quick. I don't mean to interrupt, but remember in Backbreaker, what would you see? You would see some crazy animations, but at least you knew you had a work in progress. When you see Madden do those crazy animations, there's no improvement happening. There's no logic behind it. Just some crazy space crap. But when you look at Backbreaker, you know that they were on phase one. Phase one. Not 25 years, not 28 years, phase one of a
How long ago was
game
Backbreaker?
that could have been great. But sorry to interrupt, Jay. Gedden, sorry, man.
Yeah, no worries. How long ago was Backbreaker?
Backbreaker was 2009, I think, or 10, somewhere around there.
Imagine where they'd be right now with these next gen consoles. I'm done. I'm done.
It would be hard. I mean, Madden, they would literally be like, they would be selling like, I don't know, some game we done forgot about.
Yeah.
It'll be bad. Well,
2009, September 29, 2009. Sorry.
Thank you, bro.
So we're 8 years. We're 8 years away. 8 years. 8 years, and look what we got.
And the tackling is light years better in Backbreaker, and the physics is 10 times better in Backbreaker than it is in Madden now.
The running.
Think about that.
The running game in Backbreaker was top notch.
Was the truth.
The truth. When you ran in Backbreaker and you had people breathing behind you, and you were they only had a few moves you could do, and the patch kind of broke the running. But I've done some things in the editor to hex it up. But I mean, that game had so much potential, and the foundation was what they were building. But you know what? Foundation doesn't sell. When you buy a house, you're not buying the concrete underneath. You're buying the pretty paint and the pictures on the walls, and you walk in all pretty, but then your concrete falls under you and your house is dead. Well, guess what? Madden's the same thing. The whole entire foundation is trash. But you know what? They've covered up so much crap on top of that trash that people can't see it. People can't see it unless they're like us.
Yeah,
sorry, man, I get mad. I get angry about this stuff.
I used to get like that. Now every time when you guys bring up Madden, I just start laughing. Oh man.
Hey, I totally gave up on Madden. Literally, it doesn't even bother me to the least. I mean, I totally forgotten about it. I don't have no urge to even want to even look at it, yo. I could go on a GameStop and I might look at it for like 5 seconds to see, okay, but I can look at it on YouTube and it's like, nah, they just don't understand. They gotten away from run animations, and that's step one. Not to mention the physics, not to mention collisions, not to mention weight, not to mention speed differentials, not to mention the difference between a ball speed and the speed of a player. Like they don't have nothing scaled up to reality.
Yeah, like the timing in that game is just so off.
Like a lob's timing, like NCAA had it really good when it comes to the lobs and what does it mean to lob to the sideline and everything. They had it really good. And Madden 04, they had the run animations down so lovely.
You actually had physics to the running. You actually felt the running in Madden. Back then.
But they didn't have the Madden. They never had offensive line. Never. Madden was my favorite Madden. And even then, the offensive line, they didn't form a pocket. They didn't go back. They on a pass play, they would run block.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or practically, I won't say I really run block, but it would seem like they're run blocking. They would run up to the defense. They didn't form that horseshoe.
Yeah, I can tell you guys this. So real quick, I can tell you guys this. Number one, we have some viewers watching. I don't know how the hell they found us, but they found us. This is
I tweeted it.
our first video. So I appreciate you guys watching. But if you guys want to throw some comments in the chat or you have any questions, feel free to chat. I haven't seen anybody throw a comment in, but also real quick, I can tell you that every year when the NFL comes around, all of us, I don't care who you are, all three of us, anybody in the sim community, we all start to get hyped up for our teams, right? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, and when the NFL comes, as crappy as my team has been, I'm hungry, man. I'm ready to start watching football. And what I'm trying to say is that it was hard for me to stop buying Madden. That was like 3 or 4 years ago, probably 3 good years ago. I stopped buying it. But it was hard for me to stop because I was like, you know what? I'll just buy it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I get the roster I want, whatever. But until I can tell you guys who haven't been able to stop buying it, as soon as you stop buying it, you're never going to buy it again. Not because I didn't notice anything. I noticed something new when I stopped buying it. It's just you're like addicted to the NFL somehow, and you continue to buy it and buy it and buy it, even though you know it's going to be garbage. But then when you stop buying it, it's like, oh, wait a second. I'm never buying this game again because it's just not worth it. But it takes for you to stop at least 1 year. I know it sounds stupid, but it takes for you to stop 1 year. I don't know when you guys stopped buying it, but I mean, it took me that one time to never buy it again, you know? And I bought it this time for my son. So I guess I'm still buying it.
If you're asking that question to everybody, I'll start. I stopped buying it Madden 09. Ian Cummins pissed me off. And just the dev teams always switch it around every 2-3 years. It really pissed me off. And at that point, I didn't know how bad it was really gonna get. So I stopped buying it and I started renting the game. And that even pissed me off even more. So I haven't went to a GameStop to actually buy Madden. I can't, probably since 09, 08, something like that. I've rented it and borrowed it, or if I did buy it, it came with the system. Like last year, I had no choice. My Xbox One was starting to crap out on me, and I had the worst experience ever with the Xbox 360. So as soon as I noticed that they came out with the white Xbox, the Xbox Slim or Xbox S or whatever, I was like, now I'm gonna trade this in before it dies on me, and I'm gonna get a new Xbox. And at that time, it came with, I think, Madden 16, 17, whatever, and that's how I was playing the game. But there's many other avenues you could go into playing Madden and not buying it. If you're trying to take, like, I guess, a political stand on that, you could go to OfferUp. You could go to what's the other one? Let Go. Buy it used. Buy it off the street. You don't have to really give EA any kind of money if you still need to get your fix. But yeah, I don't plan to purchase another Madden game ever in my life. Well, I only say that because I'm very confident in EA and their executives and the corporation as a whole. They'll never get it. They'll never understand that they need to make a real quality product because they're the only company out there. They'll never get it. The people, their fans, will never get it. The people who claim to be sim critics, like how I did that, they will never force them to get to make the game right. So it's only going to take people like us to force them to make a good game, a good quality game, because when there's a monopoly, there's the only competition is the consumer. We are the competition. When we don't buy their product, they have to change. They have to make it better. And we have to start small and, I guess, grow that.
But that's the problem. Real quick, Apex, I'll let you go in 1 second. Sorry. That's the problem getting online right now. I'm looking. I was talking to Apex about it before the show. EA's MUT, their Ultimate Team, is now worth $800 million annually. $800 million annually.
Wow.
That speaks volumes, bro, and what people want. What do the consumers want? They want MUT, and we're making that much money? Hey, bye-bye Apex, bye-bye Javo, bye-bye Gedden. You know, I'll see you in 2050.
Yeah, I know, right? They don't care.
Right.
And that's why they'll never get it.
But what about you, Apex? When did you stop buying Madden? I know you.
Oh man, I think it was what was that one when I was in the what was that year? It was in the game. I think it was Madden 12.
Okay.
Oh, so I think the last one I bought was ProTac. I bought that.
Oh my God.
ProTac one. That was my last Madden. And that was it. I didn't buy Madden 11. That was done. And it was like,
just because Marion Barber had one crazy play within the end zone, they want to add ProTac. Yeah, one crazy play, and that was it. We got to add that in the game. It has to happen to everybody.
they went. It's like their orbit. They was like planetary dynamics. Their orbit. They just went out of orbit, and it's like once you get that far out, you're not coming back, yo. It's like, it's gonna take like the hand of God. You're not coming back. Their orbit is too far. They're into interstellar space. They have no star. They're drifting.
I can tell you
Matthew McConaughey.
I can tell you. I can tell you guys.
Go ahead, Havo.
No, go ahead.
I'm angry with the sim community. The sim community is not a sim community, but they think they're a sim community. So they're literally blinded. They think they're sim, but all they do is that they promote themselves. It's a self-promotion. I'm sim. Look at this play I did. Right? And I started out like that, but I actually, everything that I had was attached to like a real football principle, to where these guys, they don't go by football principles, they go by football highlights. And that is what it destroyed. It got ESPNized, like Sports Center, and look at this highlight and this and that. And it's like they got caught up with the highlights. They forgot about football principles. It's done. They're gone. And 2K is about to follow that suit, because now you got people on Twitter and talking about you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was gonna say I hope that 2K is not doing that.
It looks like they're going down that path. More people are happier with the game as far as how they sound on Twitter, and they're talking about this, and they look at this play, look at that play, and it's some spectacular play, and it's like spectacular plays just get died down. It's not even anything anymore. They have you go on NBA the 2K TV, and they have the countdowns and everything, and it's like, why are these people happy? The ball is not tangible. So it's like you're sitting there, like this. My argument is basic. It's not. Is this like, I don't understand how people can't see this. These people are bragging about a crossover, and the ball is going through the defense. Why are you happy? Like right now, I could be doing a great move. I'll go to the instant replay. Oh man, it's not worth anything. Dump it. I can't put that on YouTube. It's trash. The ball went through, and the computer decided to let the ball go through. They have to, but they're never going to get it right, because the people don't want to get it right. I made a video where that guy, I think he's an Illuminati guy or something. He's a popular YouTuber, and he was playing a guy online live, and he lost control because the guy was still spamming him and stole the ball from him. And he was doing size ups on this guy's kneecaps. Like the ball was going through his kneecaps. He's like he was a sharp shooting small forward. So his handle's not all that. When you're a sharpshooter, your handle's not going to be top notch, because he was a sharpshooter first, and then he was a playmaker. So he was trying to do these moves that he barely got. Probably got 80 dribble. And he's dribbling in the face of two short guards. They stole the ball. They didn't even steal the ball. They hit the ball out of bounds, and he got mad and said, "Stop still spamming, my nigga." And come on. And I'm sitting there like, and nobody sees this. Nobody is like, "Yo, dog, you're dribbling in the face of people." Like, they don't even know what basketball is anymore.
Right.
Like, you can't go on the street and watch basketball right now. You're going to see a pick and roll. They're going to hard hedge it, and he's going to have to back up and reset. Right. And that's if go ahead.
I was going to say that's the definition of sim gaming, is that you should be trying to implement real life into the game, even though it's a never-ending process. You'll never get it perfect.
Yeah.
But you should be making the steps per iteration towards that goal. I think the small glimmer of hope, and you might think I am, I don't know, maybe I'm too optimistic, I don't know, but the small glimmer of hope is when it comes to 2K and their own, I guess, PR. I haven't seen yet, and I could be wrong, but they don't showcase the stuff that you're talking about with ball tangibility. Or if they do, they try to hide it a little bit.
Yeah.
This year's trailer was slightly sloppy when it came to that. But normally they try to not show that. Like they understand that, and they try not to show that for people who have a keen eye. Back to EA, they will have a top 10 of BS, but they'll be their top 10 plays or whatever, right? And I've seen in their top 10 plays of somebody running the ball, doing a spin move, and triggering 3 of the same animations of the defense falling onto their feet just from one spin move. And that's EA as a company showing that as if that's great.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the small shimmer of hope with 2K is I think they see it and maybe they'll try to work on it slowly or, you know, whatever the case is and still try to make a buck. I don't know. But after all the stuff that I've been through this year with NBA 2K, I've been putting it on my Twitter. This is the last 2K I'm buying at launch. I'm gonna wait for them to at least put up 5 patches for me to buy an NBA 2K game. At least 5 patches. That'll at least get me to November. You know, so.
Yo, man, man, it's like 2K has a chance, but they're gonna have to grow some testicles. And
I knew you
that's
were gonna say
why I just don't think they're too money hungry. They don't understand when they actually got it. And now that NBA Live is here, that opportunity for them to grow testicles is really shrinking because everybody's talking about the live stuff and this and that. And I've seen some good clips of Live. I've seen some bad clips of Live. Live is not near 2K. 2K's only problem is them
tangibility.
Them negating it. Is ultimately the negation of defense.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Because people would literally have conniption fits if every time you got near them, they stole the ball.
Yeah.
But because most people didn't understand about that. One thing I love about 2K is you have to set up your angles. And that's real. Right. You have to be, your body has to be facing the right direction and set up your next move. That's what I love about the game. That's why the game drives me so crazy. Madden, I've been totally released from it. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't even hear the combine that, you know, like, I don't even bother with like Ryan Moody because it's like he's on point with his videos, but I don't care about Madden. So it's like, you know, who cares? And I listen to somebody like, you know, like a Sam Pham, and I'm being honest, you know, a Sam Pham or this and that. And these guys, they brag about quality basketball, and it's like they sound good, but they you know, when you watch them play, it's like they're not even trying to protect the ball. And it's like they totally ignore it. They might mention it once in a blue moon, or the ball's going through here and there. So it's like they don't care about simulation. Ultimately, they just care about winning, like I said before. So that's tournament style. That's tournament activity.
Right.
It's becoming 2K is becoming a tournament league. The E-League is here, and it's going to be pure tournaments, yo. You know, you hear Scott OG, he'll say stuff like winners win. That kind of sounds to me like, yo, man, whoever gets the win is in. And simulation takes the backseat to that, to winning, you know? And that's where I think that's the direction 2K is going to go.
Well, hey, one thing I wanted to tell you guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey, one thing that I just noticed is that people are chatting all over this show, but I can't see them. And then I just popped up, open YouTube, and I can see them all chatting. So I apologize to all of you guys out there that are chatting. We'll get this right for next time, but I don't know how to get you on here. If you guys know how to do that, let me know. The chat is set to turn on in the live stream, but I can't see you here. So my bad, guys.
Wow,
read some
wow.
Well, yeah, read some chats off. Why not?
Yeah, you get it, Cavo.
Yeah, I could read them. So let's see. So they're all over the place, you know. Let me see if I can find something. Let's see. Hey, I just wanted to say, because of you guys, because of guys like King Javo, Ryan Moody, Gedden, I'm all 2K5 and 2K8. Well, don't forget about Apex, man. Apex is the one that started all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will you talk with Sim and Smitty?
Yeah, they call into our show.
Yeah, they can call into our show.
I'm cool with Smitty. I'm cool with Sim. I don't have any problem with those guys, man. You know, especially after I stopped caring about Madden, I stopped caring about sim football. Like I don't care about it. So I'm cool with those guys. I have no problem with those guys at all. Those guys, I like, you know, I wish their family, I wish everything works out great for everybody in this whole thing. So I don't have any problem with those guys at all, yo. I understand their point, and I see this is the problem with potential. When you can get blinded by potential, and they can probably see where Madden can get better, but the part that I believe that they are missing is that they don't know how far they've fallen. So when you look at how far they've fallen and how far they have to go back to get to where at least they was at, and not only that, but surpass that, it's a great pathway.
Sorry for the beep.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Hey, I just messaged you guys the chat link. If you guys want to look at the chat, we got some questions coming in. Keep going, Apex. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the problem I think I have. You know, I don't have, but that's the problem that I believe that they have. I could be wrong. My opinions don't really matter. Only the truth matters. That's just the bottom line. And we all can have an opinion, and some people could be closer to the truth than others, and it happens all the time, you know. And and you have to be objective. It can't be about like bashing anybody or wanting to bash any, because that sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's about telling the truth and being honest. And you could be, I mean, it takes freedom to be honest, and you know, you should be able to call names out. People are scared. Like, why everybody scared to call a name out? Like I would say this name or that name, and it's like, yo, I'm not dissing anybody. I'm not insulting anyone. But there's a disagreement. People are not supposed to agree all the time, and that's why, you know, you look at Versus, even when I had a problem with it at the time, but as I look back in retrospect, Versus left us at the Sims. He was the first guy to leave because he was like, yo, I have an opinion, and we had a problem with Versus. And Versus like, yo, I don't want to be a part of this. And he was right. Who are we? Like you look at good shows like First Take. The dudes debated at each other. They didn't agree all the time. So it's like it's supposed to be disagreement about it, but it's not ad hominem. It's not personal. It's just a disagreement.
Right. Right. People take it way too personally, and when you shout out somebody's name, all of a sudden now it's a problem. Now it's a fight. Now it's this battle. But this is why we're doing this. We're doing this because we want to debate. We want to get back to the days where we had choices. We could say, hey, 2K5 is better than Madden 05, and you have Game Breaker, you know, you have Backbreaker. And we used to have times where we would actually debate and discuss, and maybe you fight sometimes, but you know what? That's what we do. That's what we do in the community. But you got to put it, at the end of the day, it's just a game. It's just a community, man. It's not one person trying to hedge up the other person. And what happened is Apex built this ground floor for us. He put this thing on the map. And then people started coming in, and then before you know it, people started to get hidden agendas, and they started to see the opportunity, and it was like, okay, you know what? Thanks for the ticket onto here, but I'm going to go ahead and jump off and do my own thing, and then bye everybody. And it's like, okay, so we're stuck with what? And that's part of the reason why we're doing this show, is because we don't want to be stuck with the remains of what Apex built. We want to bring this back. And I'm not saying I'm Sim Standard, but at least I feel like I'm part of the community that watched all those videos, that played the same games, that felt the same way. And I want to be able to talk freely and have you guys talk freely with us without any bias, without anybody going to EA and saying, oh, just wait 6 years. Just keep waiting. No, keep waiting next year. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that here. So anyways, I'm on my rant again.
We got to get Moody for that foundation too, right? Moody put in lots of work over the years. And he's still fighting for a true sim community. You know, he wants a much better, highly quality, whatever EA, but he's not getting it. We're not getting it. He's being very open with that, with a lot of all his videos, really. So, you know, Brian.
Uh-oh, I think he's breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, we broke up. It's all good.
You're breaking up a little bit, Gedden. Can you hear us? Man, there's a mosquito in my room.
You're perfectly fine.
Out of me. You hear?
So I'll just say that again. You guys hear me now?
You're kind of cutting in and out.
You're cutting in and out.
All right, then I'll just save that point for later.
Yeah, but
I'll see you for later.
I have a problem with the sim community as a whole for 2K and Madden. Madden is like I mean, I'm telling you, it takes on a life of its own to where it's about who can get wins. But the part that they don't understand is how you're getting the wins. On what scale are you rating yourself? You know what I'm trying to say? If you have, if you're gonna get pride in how well you know a playbook and how much you know about football, but something that went crazy that totally negates all stick skills and all physics and all situational act. So like, they want to ignore situational stuff and then replace it with plays. It's a brilliant scheme, but it's the people that can understand that stuff. It's just bad, yo. You shouldn't replace just because you know about plays and you can describe it well. Doesn't mean that if you have a blocker in front of you and a fast guy behind a good blocker, and that guy just slips around him and just gets the tackle off with a shoestring, it's like you shouldn't be able to explain that away because you think you know how to describe plays. You know what I'm trying to say? And then you try to use some type of witchcraft on somebody. Well, this could happen, and if you disagree, then you suck. It's like this is the type of stuff that I see going on, and this is a shame, man.
Yeah, I mean, I could say that Moody's been putting in that work, but like Retro Resolve said today, it's like it's easy pickings. If I turn on Madden, I can play one game of Madden, and with just one game of replays, I can put out probably 50 videos. And I'm not trying to diss Moody
easily.
No, but it's true. Whenever you play Madden, I play one game of Madden, and I want to replay every single play, and I'm like, what the hell is this? What's that? You see things that you shouldn't be seeing on the field on every single play. And there's some plays that come through that I was okay, that looks pretty good. But I mean, a lot of the plays, you're like, I can make a video on every single play, and it's just like, what's the point at this point? I don't know. I don't know if there's any point to doing that nowadays, but shout out to him for putting in that work.
The best enjoyment I get out of Madden, and it's been such a long time since I got any kind of enjoyment out of Madden, but the best enjoyment that I get is watching the glitch videos. Like, it'll be like a top 10 horrible plays in Madden, and those plays, I get so much joy out of watching the programming in that game just go complete haywire. I just start dying laughing. It's gotten to the point where we mentioned running and core things that got to a point where programming is so bad that you could glitch the game not knowingly, but then the ball will teleport in the middle of the damn field, and all of a sudden the player can't pick up the ball, so they keep kicking the ball like if it's a soccer game. This happens online. I've seen this. It's hilarious. It's this thing that happened, in my opinion. I mean, it makes the game funny as hell, and I don't have to buy that. That's all free. Free enjoyment, free entertainment for the game. I'm breaking up again?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit again.
Clear? That's probably where I'm at.
You're breaking up, but I mean, we're probably going to wrap the show up in a few minutes. I wanted to get to one question. I think Thomas Wilson on the chat, he was saying he had a question. I'm not sure if he ever asked the question or not. Let me see. I have a question for you guys. Oh yeah, this is what Thomas Wilson's saying. He goes, on the indie football game side, what timetable would y'all give all indie devs to make a quality football game that plays, feels, and looks 2017-ish? Would it ever make it to that level? What will it take? So hopefully you guys heard that question. I'll pass it over to Apex. I don't know, Gedden, you're having some technical difficulties, but I'll pass it over to Apex, and then I'll give my opinion, and then Gedden, we'll try to get you on too.
Okay, wow.
All right.
What I think the time scale is, man, for that to happen, I mean, you look at stuff like Access Football, and I see it coming along. It's coming along. It's getting better. But for them to get to like a 2017 thing, it's going to take a long time, yo. I know a guy, I mean, Oh gosh, I forgot his name. I used to be with him on Skype all the time. His Skype name is Nightcrawler. I forgot the guy's name. I can't. And he was a programmer as well. And the work that it took. I mean, and the money that you need, and the developers that you need is just vast, man. You're gonna have to run into some major cake, some major paper for that to even go to go through. And if you do it on a low budget, the type of genius you would have to have by an efficiency in programming would be, we haven't gotten to that level yet. So it'll take a very long time, 10 years, I don't know, 5. And that's with nonstop working and not getting no payoff with the stuff that the work that you're doing. So you will be doing it strictly for the love, and the time that you would spend on that would be just too much for no money. You know?
Totally agree. I mean, I can tell you that there's a reason why I'm making a 2D football game, and people might laugh and say, "Oh, why are you building that?" I mean, I'm very big into the indie game scene. I play a lot of games on my PC, and I respect every indie developer out there for putting in the amount of work that it takes to even build a 2D game. And don't get it twisted. Building a 2D game is no joke. That's a lot of work, and there's a lot of animations and art that you need for that. And it's very similar to a 3D, but 3D is the whole next level of complexity and and difficulty. And if you're talking about, going back to the question, if you're talking about what kind of time frame are we thinking for a game like that to come out, a AAA game from an indie developer, a quality football game, there's a reason why we haven't seen any gameplay video from Cal Anderson. And I like Cal Anderson. He's a nice guy. We haven't seen any gameplay video, not because Cal's a bad guy. Joe Montana Football became what it became for a whole nother set of reasons, but they had funding behind them. They had millions of dollars behind them. And there's a reason why we didn't see the game that we wanted to see from them either. Okay. Access Football, I give those guys, Danny Jugan and guys, all the credit in the world. And they're building a game that looks like it's improving. It's getting there every year. It's getting better and better. And then you got the new Canadian football, game. And, that game is starting from the ground. And it looks like, to me, it looks like more like a 90, low 2000 type of game, PS2 type of game. And I'm not trying to diss them, but it shows you what it takes to make a game. And if you want a quality indie football game, you either need to have a Kickstarter with probably close to at least $1 million to be able to build something of quality, or B, like Apex said, you have to have resources that are super talented, that are going to do it for free and sit there and eat ramen noodles all day. And they're going to make this game on their own. You need to get artists, sound guys, animators, programmers, heavy mathematicians that can figure all this stuff out, these physics out. And you're talking years. Even if you had that kind of a scale of development crew, you're talking, I would say, 3 to 5 years to build a quality game from a small team. Okay. Now, if you're going to go with a smaller scale game, like even the game I'm making, I'm looking at like a 1 to 2 year minimum, 1 to 2 years on my little game. And I'm like 4 resources. So can we get one? I think we can, but it's going to come out in phases, and it's going to come out with the right team and the right group. But I think it's possible. I think it's just a matter of getting all those ingredients in the right order. I'm going to pass it over to Gedden. I had you on mute, Gedden. Let's see if you sound okay now. All right, you're on.
All right. Testing. 1, 2. Check me out. We good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So I'll say this: the 5-year mark. I think that's the consensus. When Apex and Javo, when y'all was speaking, I was thinking 5 years. Unfortunately, they have small teams to start off with, but that's how a lot of games start off. They start off with a very, very small team. And with that small team, they build a foundation, and they just continuously build. Normally, when it comes to game development, especially from corporate publishers and devs, we don't see their first 2 or 3 iterations of a game. Normally, we see like their 3rd and 4th iteration. We're looking at that like as if that's their first game. So with all that being said, yeah, about 5 years. Shout out to all the developers who are actually putting their own time, sweat, tears, money into the game, into their passion, and trying to give us a game because they've heard our complaints. They've heard our wants and needs for a truly simulated game. And it takes a lot of balls to put something out there that right off the bat can't compete with the Monopoly machine. So shout out to everybody that's doing something. I commend them. I support monetarily and through Twitter. And I'm not going to be up on Twitter giving everybody all these ideas and stuff like that. Those days about me are probably long gone. But I 100% guys, and I wish them the very best of business and fortune. But yeah, about 5 years. That's what I think.
Yeah, you bring up a good point with the NFL license. I mean, the NFL license is key. If people don't have the NFL license, they're going to be fighting an uphill battle, especially that's why I'm doing the game I'm doing too, by the way, is because I don't want to compete with a AAA game. I don't want to compete with Madden. I just can't compete with them. Even if I were to make a solid game and it was unlicensed game, I'm competing against the NFL, and that's going to be very hard to do. But I don't want to cut the show short, but I know it's getting late. It's 10 o'clock on our side, guys. This was our first run. I thought it was a great show. I thank Apex for coming on. I really appreciate him showing up on the show. Gedden and I are going to be doing this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Sharp.
Apex, if you want to jump in at any time, the door is always open for you, man. No matter where you are, what you're doing. If you want to come on the show, man, you're more than welcome. You are the guy that inspired everybody, and you bring so much value to the community. And I think that you shouldn't go anywhere. You should stay put where you are, and you should continue doing what you're doing, man, because you're the guy that built this thing. Okay. So that's my shout out. I'll let you guys do your thing, and then we'll end this. And thanks to everybody in the chat for being on, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, Gedden.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming out with us. Thank you again, Apex. Hopefully we could do this again and soon and consistently. But yeah, Javo, thank you for bringing this opportunity to the sim community, and let's continue and let's make this show much better. It's going to get much better. But yeah, that's good.
Hey, I thank you guys for having me on, man. I thank y'all for, all of the, just all the kind words and everything. And the reason why I want to say this in closing, the reason why I stopped my channel, man, life is getting too serious. You see all this stuff going on around us. We hear about it, and it's like we just hear the news, but there are people that go through that stuff for real. Puerto Rico and dude is shooting up Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
If that media story is true, that's a whole other topic. But
Somalia,
Puerto Rico, Florida, all of this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing about people dying all the time, young, old, people getting offed. This is one of the reasons why I took down my videos on my YouTube channel, man. Me, personally, my faith is in Jesus Christ on the real. That's where I take it. And I believe in the Bible. And, sometimes, I go back and forth with my thing because this thing is really, it's a passion of mine. If I could work for a video game company, I would never be working, because especially a basketball game, I would not work, because I would go to work every day early. I would never be late. Like when they flew me down to Backbreaker, I loved it. I was beating them there, in the studio. It was a beautiful thing. It was a passion. But in reality, man, this stuff, we always got to keep some type of anchor in reality so we can always jump back and see what's going on, man. Everybody got to die. Everybody has to die, yo. I saw my mom's on the floor dead in my house, B. You know what I'm trying to say? And people got to have their relationship for me, with Jesus Christ. Everybody has different God. But for me, for the people who are Christians, and they get kind of tossed to and fro with the waves of the world, the different waves. It's so entangling. It's very powerful undertow. We gotta keep an eye on the prize, and that's Jesus Christ, and that's for me. And I just want to say bye and peace to everybody. On that note, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm glad that you guys value my opinion. I definitely value you guys. Gedden, I've been watching you for a long time. Value your opinion. I hear people's different opinions, because we all should share a different opinion on something, and then you can educate me, and I hope I can educate somebody else. Peace to everybody.
Yep, respect.
Yeah, man, respect, man. Great outro, and we appreciate you guys, everybody on the show, Gedden, Apex, all the guys watching. We'll do it again next week, and we're gonna be sending out a tweet about what name we want to call this thing. We don't know what name to call it, but we'll be sending you guys out that poll on Twitter. Somebody will be doing it, retweeting it, and you guys let us know what you want to do. But we'll be here next week at 8 p.m. and thank everybody. Thank God, right? Thank everybody, right? Peace.
Peace. Shout out to Jeros.
Yeah.
Jeros, that's my dude. Shout out to regular Dave.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Shout
out to Ryan Moody. What up?
Yep, Ryan Moody, everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Sim Standard. The Sim Standard. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to EA.
To my boy Smitty.
Rex Dixon. All right, peace.
I wanted to shout him out before. Yo, shout out to Clint Oldenburg, bro.
Shout out to Ian Cummings, man. Ian Cummings. Rest in peace, man.
Oh, man.
No. Shout out to Danny Moore, bro.
Yo, Danny Moore.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, yo.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. I'm going to turn it off. Peace.
Peace, man.